image, and oh, you can see the original in the background. Look at that. I have not seen this one before.
We see how big it is here, and we can see that it is symmetrical. They've been scouring the whole area, so large areas, and they found this little thing right here on the left. If you blow that up, it looks like this. Looks like two wheels with an axle in between it. Here it looks like a woman standing on this ledge. She's got a long flowing dress on. It sure looks like a woman if you look at this. Here is that guy standing right there, 20 foot away from the Curiosity rover.
This keto elevate from Keto with Leak is awesome. I've been taking it now for about a year. I put it in my coffee every morning for breakfast, and it just gives me like that extra boost. But it also boosts my metabolism. Now, if you go to ketowithleak.com, you're going to get 51% off, free shipping in the US. Put it in your coffee, replace the sugar. You'll be glad you did, and be the change you want to see, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rex Bear Leak Project, how the heck are you? We have the man, the myth, the legend, Aage Nost with us today, and we're going to talk about it. Mars anomalies. And just recently, Congress had a hearing, the first one in 50 years on UFOs and UAPs. And there is no question now that they have openly admitted that there has been a multitude of cases where these UFOs/UAPs are swarming military craft. They're not causing damage, but they are interfering with military exercises. And they're saying, look, they're moving with intelligence and we don't know what they are, but they're not us. So it's definitely getting close to disclosure. You know, they're like, well, there's craft. We don't know what they are. They're not ours. And next thing you know, they're going to say, hey, these are the space travelers we've been hinting about. And you're going to show us some really cool stuff on Mars too, aren't you?
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you, I got coffee in hand and I'm ready to go. So
I got water and coffee.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I don't know though what you spike that water with. But,
C60 from C60 Purple Power, put a whole bunch in there. Oh,
I thought so.
Yeah. Showing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Now, you were talking about Congress and getting closer. Yeah. You know, we've been spoon fed so long, but the spoons are getting bigger now.
Way bigger.
There is no way they can hold this together. It's going to come apart, and what's inside of that is going to just blow the people inside the box. They're going to blow them away.
I would be honored to meet a space traveler. I would be honored to meet a Martian, or, you know, here's my theory. I actually, and then I want to see these Mars anomalies you're talking about, but I was actually like in the zone, and with all this research that I've done into the ancient cuneiform tablets and mythology and electric universe and petroglyphs and religion, and then the cutting edge stuff with the UAPs, I've basically come to the conclusion that, well, the moon was brought here, and the Anunnaki, that's their ship, man. Like, they're there right now. And they could take it anywhere. Yeah. I think they could take it anywhere. I think they've seeded worlds with that thing.
Yeah, somebody did. And, you know, I think we even mentioned that last time I was on here, you know, talking about the old records from India, talking about that. Yes, there were a time before the moon, and there was also a time when there were two moons in the sky. One was slightly blue and the other one was like ours. So these are spaceships.
I mean, can you think of a better place to cover, like, protect yourself from radiation?
Yeah. Well,
a planetoid.
Yeah.
You know?
Being inside there is pretty safe, especially when you know what the surface is made of. You know, thick. It's probably either iron or titanium. I'm not so sure what it is. The surface, and then of course it's hollow.
Well, they have brought back a bunch of titanium alloy. There's high concentration of titanium, and it's like an alloy titanium And yeah, I mean, you'll see that the craters are all about the same depth, but they're different sizes and width. It's almost like there's this extra surface below that stops them from going any further. And it does ring like a bell. And our last podcast that we did, folks, you need to go back and watch that also if you missed it. Some great moon anomalies and some very interesting footage and photographs. But I'm going to give you permission to share the screen here. So,
Okay.
And actually, I was wanting to show one in particular before we get started here, which I kind of thought was fun. I actually just got this recently. Yesterday, I was going to do a podcast on it, but then I thought to myself, you know what? Let's save this for Aage here. And this is a Mars anomaly that actually came out a few years ago, and then NASA was like, "Oh, it's nothing," and so people are like, "Oh, NASA says it's nothing, so don't worry about it." But very interesting. Some people are saying these could be actually 3,000 plus foot tall towers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how they got that data. I did look at this photo. Like if you want to go to NASA and see the actual photograph, because like last time we talked, I said, look, I want to get the link. I want to see where the footage is. I want to see where it comes from, what they used to take the photograph, etc. And these photos were taken from about 200 miles away from the surface. So very far from the surface. So to see something like this and as uniform as it is, I think that's pretty cool. What do you think about this one?
It depends on the width of it, because there is a sizable, that shadow right there is almost uniform on all three of them. So you could say that it is the same kind, whatever it is.
Yeah, it looks artificial to me. Very artificial.
Oh, yeah.
And so here's the original photograph. And I'll even leave the link if you want to get it. It's M001661. And you can get this in higher resolution. But if you see up here towards the top.
Yeah, there it is.
So I just found a higher resolution photograph of this. I downloaded it and then I screenshot those three right there. But to put it into perspective, this is the original photograph. And this is kind of cool down here. These look like sand dunes possibly, or ice dunes or something.
Mm-hmm.
But that was what I wanted to bring to the table.
That's excellent. Yeah, we're diggers, and we find stuff.
Yeah, cool stuff.
Cool stuff. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I could share screen with you, and I want to say a few words about Mars first, because it's kind of a goofy place. Because according to the people that think they know something, it's not making sense. The first thing that I know, when we start looking out up into the sky and start looking at pictures, both from the Russians and the Americans, and now the Chinese and India is coming online with their stuff, we're finding that, there is goofy stuff even on all of the planets. Mercury, they got structures that you have pictures of. Actually, I've only seen one, but the rumor is there's more. And then we have Venus. I got pictures on our website. Nori and I have this website, broadcastteamalpha.com. In the picture gallery, we have pictures of 2 triangular pyramids on Venus. There is no question about it. They are perfect, triangular. And then, of course, we have the moon. There's pyramids up there. There is a pyramid on Mars, the Hoagland found. And what we're seeing is that pyramid building was a very popular thing in the past. And gosh, you have been interviewing so many people, Rex. Who do you think? What are the people that you're interviewing? What do they think? Who are these pyramid builders? Can I ask you that?
Oh, that's a great question. I haven't specifically asked who. Well, no, David Sarita believes that Yahweh built the Great Pyramid of Giza. And he's doing that based on the mathematical equations that he found in the biblical texts. And I find that to be quite fascinating. Some people have said that They're a civilization from Sirius. I've heard the Atlanteans, ancient Sumerians. I've heard Anunnaki. I've heard Thoth built the Great Pyramid also, Lord Thoth. So that's what I've heard. And
Yeah.
but
Well,
the question is, like, if you go to Cuba, right? You go to Cuba, off the coast of Cuba, about 3,000 feet down, there is an entire civilization of pyramids.
mhm.
So something happened to cause the water to move up over 3,000 feet and cover those pyramids. It's either 1,200 feet or 3,000 feet. I know there's a big discrepancy there. I'll double check, but it's one of the two. It's very far below the surface. And they took some like radar or some type of equipment was able to film those pyramids. But I don't know, man. That's a great question.
It's a tough one. Yeah, if it was Yahweh, it would kind of make sense because Yahweh was an Anunnaki. And the old records show that. Sumerian tablets, they talk the succession of names and all kinds of stuff there. So yeah, he was an Anunnaki, and they had phenomenal technologies. So, in the old days, with the mostly ignorant people of science, they would surely appear as almighty gods to them. And that makes sense to me. So I'm kind of with you on that one. But on the other hand, too, they talk about the red planet being the Mars. Well, the red planet, why in the world would we call it a red planet? Well, all the pictures up to now that we've been getting from NASA, they show that the ground is red, the sky has a reddish color to it. Everything has been reddish brown up there. But, that's changed now. Now the pictures we're seeing from Mars, we see the ground as being regular, just like here. And the sky is either kind of whitish or blue. So they changed their mind. Well, there's people coming out of NASA, too, that is admitting that, yeah, we were using this brown filter. Why are they trying to cover up what is up there if it is just a dead rock in the sky? The ground being red in places on Mars, that is true. And that is because of iron oxide. Big deal. Go to Sedona, Arizona, and you will see red ground, brownish ground everywhere because of iron oxide. Then again, let's go back to Mars. Iron oxide. Oxide, that comes from something being oxygenated, or iron being deteriorated by oxygen. NASA is telling us that it's probably around 2% of oxygen in the atmosphere up there. And they want us to believe that the 2% of oxygen in the atmosphere on Mars have turned the whole planet brown. Yeah, good luck with that one. It's not convincing me. There was a lot more oxygen at one time in the past. And I would think there is, I've heard two different schools of thought on this. We know there has been a war in our solar system. There was a calamity, disaster that happened on Mars where the surface was destroyed. We see evidence of that everywhere up there. If there was a much higher oxygen content in the air and it was ignited somehow, much of the oxygen could have burned off, but there's still a lot of it because now the sky is blue on Mars. There is no chance of having blue skies, and there is oxygen and water and moisture. So, folks, NASA's been lying to you again. And that's probably what I would want to say about Mars before we get into the pictures, because they're going to explain a little bit of the same.
Cool.
If you're on Mars looking back at Earth, that's what NASA tells us Earth looked like from Mars. First of all, I don't believe that either, because if we here on Earth looking at Mars, it looks Mars is, smaller than Earth, and it looked bigger than this dot. So I think this is just something they want us to believe, that they're so far away. And so I don't know. I don't even know why I said, but let me go to the next picture. This is quite revealing. It is trees on Mars. There are vegetation on Mars. And these here, they're about 100 to 150 feet tall trees. And that's just right about 50 meters or maybe 40 meters tall. And that's just about the size, or maybe a little bigger than most trees on Earth, unless you're in the Northwest where you have the sequoia. So it is quite revealing that there is something here that is growing. I don't know what kind of trees or vegetation it would be, but there it is. So there is moisture in order for something to grow. So chances are there is water or some other substance that they may grow from. And there it looks like there's bushes over here also. There are bushes here that's throwing a shadow. So yeah, there we go. There's
And
vegetation.
these are some of the highest resolution photos. These are from the High Rise project. And I actually remember many years ago spending some time looking through some just slide after slide after slide. And there are a multitude of locations on Mars that have what appears to be trees, like what you're showing us. And it changes everything when you put that into perspective. It's like, and then what, like you brought up earlier, so a lot of the photos that they will send, and then they will show us from always a straight answer.
Yeah.
Well, you change the tint a little bit, right? Like you change it to more of a bluish, and it looks like Earth. It doesn't even look like it's on Mars. Now, this I think is definitely from Mars, but some of the photos that they show us, I have to question. I'm like, is that taken on Mars or is that taken here? And then they just change the color to make it look like it's taken on Mars. I think it's all the above, personally.
NASA admit this is from Mars. They can't talk themselves out of that because it comes out of the orbiter.
No, this one is, yeah. This is the High Rise. Specifically, right. But I'm saying on some of the other ones that I've seen, it seems like all the rover ones, I'm really skeptical about the rover photos. They just released one that actually looks like a doorway. You probably saw that one, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that looks like a doorway, but I don't know, man. Anyway, please continue. This is awesome.
And that doorway, though, I don't have that picture here, but I think you showed it last time too. And that doorway is in the gigapan that came back from Mars. So they cannot talk themselves out of it. It's there, but they are trying to say, oh, it's just an anomaly that just happened. And you're going to see some other explanations to that. That's going to be kind of like right up the alley of swamp gas. Okay,
exactly.
let me go to the next one. That one is a little out there. Here is that guy standing right there, 20 foot away from the Curiosity rover. And the people that, the story that came with this picture is that there are some people monitoring the stream coming back from Mars. And they catch it before NASA get their hands on it to sanitize and do whatever they do. And the name of the people here is it's covered up some by part of the markings on the picture, so I can't really understand what it says. The last something here is looks like an FAMHAIN. Balcona. there are some people down in in New Zealand that is doing this. And there is, I just heard also not long ago, there is somebody in Spain that built kind of like a radio type of thing where they can, or actually they can receive video from the stream. But they're sending on several different frequencies, so they have to kind of go back and forth and find it, I suppose. But they're monitoring the stream, so some of these pictures come from that. But that guy, he is not that tall, but he's standing, he's probably about maybe 5-6 feet, I'm not sure. He's standing, it could be about 15 to 20 feet away from the rover, taken by the mast camera.
I'd like to find the original on that one.
Yeah, then the original NASA print may be altered, but this, if I can figure out what it says behind the marking down here in the right-hand corner, we can probably find some of that.
You know, yeah, and that might just be the guy that like found the picture, so he did a video on it and he wanted to put his name on there. So if they found the, you know, oh, that photo, let's go check out that website. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think you showed me this one last time, and it's without an original, like it looks cool. It does. It looks like a little ET guy walking around. It looks like ET, actually. That looks like ET from ET, literally.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Oh my gosh. So I mean, I want to believe, and it's cool, but yeah, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and the thing that you said, you know, earlier, you know, no straight answer, and that is the truth, because we know that they are faking a lot of pictures. We know that because not necessarily faking the pictures, but they have an operation on an island up in Canada. They have filming, taking pictures from Greenland. They have had equipment down in the Atacama Desert in Chile. And some of those pictures get mixed up, seems like, in some of the pictures they say are from Mars. So you never really know about these people.
That's another thing. They could show us a lot of real footage and a little bit of fake footage, and those, or it could be the opposite, a lot of fake and a little bit of real. But because of that, and because of their past track record, it's always good to see if you can get another source of data that can you can cross reference. Unfortunately, who else is on Mars? You know what I mean? China maybe, but they're not going to give us anything. And so they could, you know, I mean, unless we're there, they could say whatever they want. So if we could get like the real footage, which I think that some of the stuff you showed me on the last podcast, I think some of it was legit. And I think that there was some that was altered and not on your part. You know what I mean? Like you're showing the footage and giving people an opportunity. That's the great thing about Leak Project is we can decode, there's so many smart people to watch Leak Project that when you do a video and you show what could be an alien, there's going to be people that are going to show you all the pros and cons in the comment section that, you know, like, what about this? Why does it have a reflection? You know, why? So whatever. But this is still really interesting to look at. And I was skeptical on some of the stuff you were showing me last time. And then I was able to find out that some of them were actually, you know, we found the direct source. So I appreciate that. Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's when I read the comments down below in the last one, and there were a lot of complimentary ones, but there were a few too that just no, that can't be right. So read the comments below the videos, because that's some really interesting stuff that people bring up that really make us think. And that's,
someone just said that looks like a crack in the rock. It does kind of look like a crack in the rock now that you said it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Never know.
No, that's cool. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Let's go to the next one. This one is really goofy. It is a floating rock. You can see the shadow but it doesn't touch the ground.
It's weird.
And I have been struggling with this one. But the colors shading, I blew it up, and the color shadings right here, it seems like it hasn't been done any changes to it. Now, I can't think of any reason why rocks would float, except for, let's say, okay, this is my theory. If somebody was standing right there, knowing that the rover was taking pictures, if they threw a rock in front of the camera, they could have picked NASA could have picked one of those pictures and published it. Just for, to confuse people, maybe.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I mean, somebody in the chat said it could be an optical illusion, and it could be, but it also, like, I was thinking the same thing. It looks like maybe it captured it while it was in midair.
Mm-hmm.
So what would cause that? Did the rover throw it? Probably not.
Yeah. Unless, of course, there was something magnetic in the ground. And this is a piece of metal that somehow is floated by that magnetic force in the ground. I'm just talking here. I really have no clue.
Well, that's why we have this think tank here.
There you go. All right, let's go to the next one. That is right there. Well, looks like Stonehenge, but it's on Mars. I know some people are going to say that's natural. There's a theoretical possibility nature could have created that. But I think it's a slim one. There is on a mound, and the rocks are in a circle. I don't know, Rex. I think it's an artifact.
Yeah, I mean, you can actually overlap Stonehenge, or you can put Stonehenge next to it, and you can see the similarities. It does look like some type of stone circle, something that we would have seen in Ireland or the UK, or some of the countries out there, possibly. I mean, maybe even Scandinavia or something. It's kind of getting that Scandinavia vibe a little bit.
There is quite a few places where they have stone circles, especially in South Africa. They're all over the place. But here on Mars, so far, I've only seen one as a stone circle. But there it is. I just don't buy it if they say this is natural. Of course, I'm a little more conspiratorial than the average bear, so, I could look at it that way. All right. Oh, this one's good. This is something, if you look over here, it's in the side, there's a trench going here. They sit right here on the left as kind of like embedded into the side of the trench. When you blow that up, it looks like this. There's 3 pictures of it. Doesn't look natural. And it looks like metallic. And this comes out of the Gigapans Hollow that was found by, let's see, I don't have it. Mars Moon Space Photo Zoom. They are phenomenal researchers. I highly recommend to go to their Facebook page or go to their website, Mars Moon Space Photo Zoom. They have phenomenal pictures. Go check them out, because you got more stuff like this on their website.
It even looks like they blurred something out.
Yeah.
You can see something was blurred out. Look above it.
Mm-hmm.
See that box? That's a smudge. They smudged something out, dude. Wow. That's fascinating. So this is so what they took this from a satellite image, and oh, you can see the original in the background. Look at that. That's I have not seen this one before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It's a head scratcher.
Like a giant subwoofer.
You know, this could be I had somebody suggested to me also that this may be a combined house and a flying disc. Who knows? Maybe the discs up there are such that you live in them. So this is their home. But if they want to move, they just take it and fly somewhere.
It looks like it crashed because if it was their home, I mean, it's right on the edge of that, whatever it is. Like if you see the original there.
Yeah.
It looked like
That's
it was
true.
like, boom.
Yeah.
Or it was
That's,
like,
yeah, that's right.
what is that
I know,
landscape?
I remember when when Nori and I was doing this video documentary on this, she got attached to this one because it was so clear and so she was really puzzled. She had several different theories on it, and like you say, it could have been from a crash right into the side of the trench there.
That looks like a craft.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, it's metallic. It looks like it has these windows almost, or a different color. Maybe it's not windows, but some type of, I don't know, different metal. It's a different
kind of
material.
like. Mm-hmm.
But what did they, if you look above it, you can see that they smudged something. So like, what did they smudge? That's weird.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. But it's the original smudge. So they're all going to look that way. If you change, even if you change the color of all of them. So if you look at the original, you can see it even looks like it's smudged. So let me ask you, Aage, did you take this whole thing from Mars, Moon, Space, or did you take the original and then like change the colors and add these 3 boxes?
No, I didn't do anything to it. That this whole frame comes from Mars, Moon, Space, Jerusalem.
Okay. I'm gonna have to. I want to see where they got the original slide on that one. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Here we go. Now, here is something that is a little puzzling too. You see the terrain around here? It looks rocky. Looks like rocky. But then you got this metal-looking object. It kind of looked maybe as a 2-room house, a home. And it's not just that either. There's sand blown up against it, which is fine. But here is something on the lower portion, a little bit to the left, there's something sticking up against it, kind of like, could it be a branch of something? But here, it definitely looked different than the surrounding, like it would be a house, a 2-room house. I'm all ears for anybody to tell me what this is.
It's a Martian snail. It's about 500 feet in circumference. It's huge. I mean, now another thing is that's got to be massive because these are satellite photos, probably from the high. This looks like the high rise type photo. I mean, they got some of the best footage you can get. You can spend days just losing your mind looking at some of the amazing photographs that come out of there. This is incredible. But that does look interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like a bubble fort or something, like a bubble lab.
And as we see how big it is here, and we can see that it is symmetrical. It is a same slant distance from the edge of it, if you follow my cursor, slant distance from the edge to the top on this side as it would be on this side and on this side. So it kind of looks symmetrical enough to be kind of obvious that it is an engineered thing.
I mean, it looks like a massive seashell.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does. And so nature makes seashells, and you pull them out and you're like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's like sacred, you know, it's amazing. It's sacred geometry. It's got like all of the keys of life essentially. And then you listen and you can hear it. It's making a noise, but like, I don't think that's a giant seashell, man. That'd be pretty freaking massive. I mean, at one point there was an ocean there, but just one giant seashell left there.
Yeah.
Right there. No, that's weird, man. That's really weird. That's a great catch. I'm gonna have to leave a link for you guys. Also, Mars, Moon, Space.
Wait until you see this one. Okay, look at this spot right there. This is out of the Gigapan. It comes right out of the Gigapan. Mars, Moon, Space, photo zoom caught it because they've been NASA, they didn't have the chances to look through all of it and smudge what they didn't like. They probably just said, screw it. Let's just get it out there. And brilliant people like these people here at Mars, Moon, Space, photo zoom, they've been scouring the whole area, so large areas, and they found this little thing right here on the left. If you blow that up, it looks like this. Looks like two wheels with an axle in between it.
Well, so it does kind of look like a Sherpa, but you know what else it looks like? It looks like a dumbbell.
Yeah.
It does. It looks flat out like a dumbbell. Now, the question is how big, like we need to know how big that rock is behind it to put into perspective, because I mean, those are some massive rocks if that's the case.
Yeah.
Right. But
that's what I don't know.
Or it's a real small dude. It's a little tiny Martian in a mini Sherpa. Like, I mean,
yeah. Just a little while, I'm going to show you that small dude.
Okay. All right.
Oh, God. I tell you, there's no chance of this being natural. I'm not buying it. So there's something here that was engineered. Either, I didn't think about the dumbbells. That could be too.
Martians got to work out too, man.
Hey, that's true.
Pumping iron.
It's good for them. All right. Here we go. I think everybody's seen this picture. And that is also out of the Gigapan pictures. Here it looks like a woman standing on this ledge. She's got a long flowing dress on, maybe dark hair, an arm sticking down here. Maybe she's got something, you can see a face here, and maybe, I don't know. It sure looks like a woman if you look at this.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, if that doesn't make you question things.
Yeah. Now, the story that comes with this one also, that because of the distance from the rover, they're saying that she is very short, maybe a foot and a half tall.
And with the atmosphere, the way that it is on Mars, once again, we haven't been there, at least that I can remember. I might have been there in a past life, but I certainly don't remember. But like, what are the conditions like out there? And what about all the graves that were discovered in Tennessee, where they were pulling out bones of people that were about, they would say, a foot and a half, 2 feet tall. And then the Smithsonian covered it up later and said, oh, they were just chicken bones. Whole bunch of people putting chicken bones in there. Yeah, chicken bones.
Yeah. But then remember also, if we say that this woman is a foot tall, that sounds kind of ridiculous. But about four or 5 years ago, there was this was written up in even a science journal where I read it, an archaeological journal. There was inside a rock in Australia, there was found a fossilized, perfect human skeleton that when they measured it, it was kind of curled up, and they measured everything and stretched it out. They found that it was 11.5 inches long. You've probably seen that that particular picture of that rock from no, did I say Australia? I meant Antarctica. That's where it came from. And that was a perfect human skeleton. So we never know. Maybe they're short people. And you're going to see another really short guy here shortly. I don't know. I just put that in there because it's so beautiful. There's nothing sinister about this one. This picture was found by the University of Arizona when they were studying the orbiter pictures, and it just looked so beautiful. Blue sand dune. So I just put it in there.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah.
Some of them almost look like Pac-Man.
Yeah. Here we go. Now, here is another picture taken by the mast camera on the rover. See those two lines inside the square there? It looks like tire tracks. Now, I know some people is going to say, oh yeah, that's because of the rover drone down there a little bit, but it's a little too wide for the rover, but I'm concerned because of the distance. So I put a question mark on it, but there it is. There's tire tracks.
I mean, it looks out of place. I'm looking for something that would match up. And if you look down at the bottom of the photo, you can see some streaks in the sand a little bit, but it's nothing as pronounced as that, you know? So when you see something that out of place, you certainly question it. And you don't see the rover tracks. I mean, you just see those. So we're, you know, unless it came from the left there, but yeah, that's really interesting, man.
Mm-hmm. And then whoever put this picture forward, they say slice of rock. They put that on here. It kind of looks like a triangle, and then I don't see anything specific, interesting in that. That could have happened anyway. I am not so sure that is all that worthy of the notoriety, but anyway, somebody thought so. I thought it was more the tire tracks. That's a little different. Here, let's see. There is, oh yeah, here we go. And you've seen this one before.
Now, yeah, this stuff is so weird. And if you look down, it looks like trees once again coming out or something, right?
Yeah.
Bottom there, but not quite as extreme as the other one. But you know what, man? 10 years ago, I did a blog post on this, and somebody said, "Oh, that's gas or fuel, like natural gas sprouting out of the dunes," which would mean that there was organic life there, you know. But I don't know if I buy that either. It does look like swamp trees or something, you know. It's just weird, man.
It almost looks like little drilling towers for oil drilling towers, like we've done here.
It does. It does. I mean, that's the first thing you think when you see it. It looks like an oil tower. But maybe they're fracking the dunes out there, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Then you got them over here, but this is more puzzling to me. See those three?
Yeah.
There is three kind of like dams here. If there was something that they wanted to dam up while there was water, then you could see how they maybe would do that in order to restrict the water flowing through. So this is puzzling more so than this here. I don't know about that. And then here it looks like there's maybe some digging going on. Maybe it looks like a mining operation. They've been digging out something here and they've been moving it maybe somewhere. Here's another tower up at the top. The question is, if this is a mining operation and they start, bringing it out, where does it go? It goes somewhere through the air, not on the ground when taking it out. But there's activity here. This doesn't look quite right from nature.
There's cell phone towers.
Yeah. 5G.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. We have another one. There you go. And this picture is at the courtesy of JPL. And it was found by Caltech University. And the Genesis project, they published it. Here, can you see a guy standing there? There's legs, there's the torso up on top of it, and then you have a head up on top of it. It looks like a man or a woman standing there.
This reminds me of ancient Chinese megaliths and statues.
Yeah.
It has that like ancient Oriental vibe to it if you look at the top of it almost. What?
Yeah.
And when I say the top of it, I'm not referring to that dude right there. I'm referring to the left of it. You see what looks like a big door. And
Yeah.
it looks like there's snakes almost coming off the top of it. I'm not saying that's what it is, but then it looks like there's like a door inside of it, like a big stone door. And that what you were just showing at the beginning is one of the relics that would be attached to it, similar to what you would see in Indonesia or many places around the world.
Mhm.
That's really cool, man. I'd like to see the original on that also. So the NASA raw
Yeah.
image is to the right, so we could find it somewhere if that is a NASA image. And it looks like it is.
Yeah, it says NASA raw image. Here it is, without the enhancement and the blowing up. You can see the the entrance is here, but it's hard to see without having it blown up a little bit. But it looks like bars here. I wonder why. There is also animals on Mars, and they're not very friendly, according to the super soldiers. They say that that's why they're there with their guns, to make sure that things are safe. So maybe they're protecting themselves against those animals behind those bars. Here is also another human staying, not just this guy, but it looks like maybe another one standing up here, maybe a little shorter one. You see that? Next to the entrance to the cave.
Maybe.
Yeah, I kind of see it. There's a head up on top of it, and then it's an arm here and the torso. But that could have been, nature could do something like that too. But this one, that one, and the cave with the bars in front of it, all in one spot, being a coincidence, I don't buy that either.